Kirby Smart with the University of Georgia football. I want to share a clinic presentation we've put together. I hope you'll enjoy it. It's about championship defense in an offensive world. And we've done several of these pieces in the past. I think we started in 2016, 2017, did a presentation on how our defense has evolved, how we went from trying to be three down to stop the run and force people into pass to now being a lot more four down and being creative in the way we can disrupt offenses. So I'm going to break this presentation into several parts. First part is embrace it, meaning you've got to embrace the challenge that offenses present. Second part is you got to be able to create negative plays. We think a key to stopping teams is you got to have negative plays. Third part is going to be create a way to rush the passer at all times, not third and long, at all times, because we're in a pass world. Next focus will be on players over plays. We think of offenses and the way they do that. Players over plays is what offenses talk about. Get the ball to my playmakers. Well, on defense, we want to think the same way. Players over plays. How are you using the strengths of your defense? You may be better in one area, secondary, than maybe the next year at maybe linebacker or maybe in your front. But players over plays. And then drills we do that matter. Like, we change up drills a lot, but we want to do drills that equate to what we're trying to do in the game. So we try to be creative with that and change them up. I want to show you some of those, okay? So let's dive into this. I want to be able to show you a couple things. First thing we're going to talk about, leaders in total offense in 2021. So I want to give you an overview, 10,000 foot down, looking down at offenses. 9 of the top 11 offenses in 2021 averaged over 70 snaps per game. So they're getting lots of snaps, right? Whether that's tempo, whether that's conversions, snaps are going up. And if you look at the screen that we've got here, you look at Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee, teams we played were 3 of the top 11 where you can see the number of snaps going up. So in return, total offense goes up. Now this is an interesting slide. Okay, I'm going to take you back on kind of a history lesson, which I've done before on one of these presentations. There's a 2009 SEC total offense. There's 2015 SEC total offense. 2021 SEC total offense. So you're taking a 6-year leap and then another 6-year leap. So you've got these 3 windows, okay, and they're all SEC teams, but I want you to understand, one was the first national championship at Alabama. 2015 was my last year at Alabama, which was also a national championship year, and then 2021 jumps all the way to this past year in the SEC while I'm here at Georgia. But very unique look. And if you say, okay, what is the trend, Coach Smart? What's happening to offenses, at least in the SEC? But I would say that the country mirrors this. Fewer rushing yards, higher passing yards. I think that's an increase in RPOs. More people are doing RPOs, so you're seeing that. But you're also seeing a higher yards per play, so more explosive. Offensive coordinators have gotten smarter, right? I've got to have explosive plays to win the game. If I can go up in explosive plays and maintain turnovers or go down in turnovers, I'm going to win more games. I'm going to score more points. Higher snap totals equals higher total offense. So you can take the time to look at these slides and see them, but offensive play calling has changed, whether it's RPO or it is increased vertical passing game to take shots to get explosive plays. So we know that's happened. We have to adjust and adapt. Embrace that. It's one of the first topics I want to talk about. Good coaches adapt to their players. Bad coaches make their players adapt to them. Embrace the change. Stay ahead of the game. Okay? I would never sit here and tell you it's all about scheme. It's all about players. Okay? But we want to take our players and challenge them to embrace what has become an offensive world. And we did a really good job with our defensive staff this past year. Incredible job of challenging our players to embrace what offenses want to do. And when you embrace that, that means you want to go out there and say, you know what, we're not going to lower our standards. We're going to raise our standards and we're going to compete at a high level against it. All right, the evolution of our front. So as you embrace this change, you can see here where And at Alabama 2015, we're 70% four down. We're 65% four down, so we're going down four down. We're 40% four down. Okay, now we're up to 60% three down in 2017, and then all of a sudden it starts to make a change. 2018, we're back 60% four down. 2019, you can see the curve really start to shift. 2019, 2020, and 2021, we were 80% four down. All right, you say, well, why is that? You can base it on personnel. You can sit at a clinic anywhere in the world and talk about, well, you got to be three down to stop this. You got to be four down to stop this. I firmly believe that you got to be multiple to stop offenses. When you sit in offensive meetings and you meet with offensive coordinators, one of the biggest things you find out is, do they do four down and do they do three down? Offensive line coaches don't want to block both, especially when you can stem in and out of both based on their run game and their calls. Okay, so you can see the evolution for us. We want to be more disruptive and we want to rush more. We feel like that's more than four down. 5-6 years ago, I would have said, you know what, you got to stop a lot of gap plays. We got to get down into odd front. We got to get into our different looks, our tight fronts, and stop these runs. But not now. Now it becomes a pass happy, pass first. How can you be disruptive? So as you look at the screen, 2019, 2020, 2021, we have had a gradual increase in four down versus three down. Okay, so we're going to jump to our first point now. You must create more negative plays. Why does that matter? Well, if they're going to be explosive, the only way to get them off schedule or the only way to get a big stop is to create negative plays. So we did a lot of studies, and the drives that have negative plays do not end in touchdowns or field goals at a much higher rate than when you just try to stay the course, bend but don't break. Okay, so we're looking for negative plays. We've started stunting and moving our defensive line more in an effort to create more negative plays. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this first point here, and you can see these are circled for you. When you look at the UGA defense the last 3 seasons, and we've been really high in the country for 3 straight years, 2019, 2020, 2021, you can see our first and second down snaps. We have different games in those years, so different amount of games, so the snaps vary. But you need to look at the percentages. When you look there at sim pressure, simulated pressure, and pressure, you can see where it has gone up from 33%, went down to 25 in 2020, and then it jumped to 50% in 2021, where we're running some kind of simulated pressure. So, and you can see down at the bottom, we're going to get into later what kind of pressure that was. Was that a defensive back pressure, corner safety, nickel star, or was that an interior linebacker pressure? Okay, but you can see the increase we've had. Higher pressure, higher simulated pressure, higher percentage on both normal and third downs. So a lot of people say I pressure third downs, but I don't on first and second. We've gone up in these areas being able to do that. Okay, so must create more negative plays. 3 modes of defense for us. We're going to have base mode, stunt mode, and jet mode. And we want our defensive line, our rushers, could be a DB, could be a linebacker, but we want our front guys to understand base mode. We're striking blocks, stack fits. We want to be really good run stoppers. We want to be better than you are. We want to fit things the right way and be sound in defense. Back a long time ago, this is the only way people played. Okay, they weren't aggressive. They didn't stunt. They didn't send people. They wanted to be sound and fundamental, especially when you play option type teams. Well, base mode is our first thing we teach. We want to be fundamentally sound and strike blockers. Stunt mode has been elevated for us. Okay, we've gone more to a stunt mode team. Why? We got to create more negative plays. Okay, and then jet mode always existed, but you got to have jet mode in game plan. Third and long, obvious passing situations. You've got to be able to go get the quarterback. Let's go sack the QB. So let's take a look at this now. D-line Indy, stunt steps under a shoot. These are daily musts that Coach Scott, our defensive line coach, who does a tremendous job with our D-line, we've had to implement this more than maybe playing base mode, because we're doing this more. So if you're going to do this 50% of the time, you've got to take your Indy time and allot that to that. So you see them getting up under the chute. We want to have great balance on our stance. We want to be able to redirect flat and get vertical and penetrate. So you have different looks. He works these really hard. He makes the kids make calls, flat step, get vertical, and we want them under the chute. We got some big men, and low pad levels brings wins for us. Now we're going to go to a couple clips here and watch a couple clips in a game where you can see us in stunt mode. Okay, we got a corner cat coming off the boundary. Everybody in America runs it. Nothing special about that. I want to go to the end zone copy and see where there we are, stemming from 4 down to 3 down, and now bringing the cat with it. and we're in stunt mode. We want to create negative plays right here. You can see 44 flat step, down the line, big 99, probably higher than we want, but good quick step, 95 wins the B gap, flat step, get down the line of scrimmage, chance to create havoc, chance to create a negative play. That's big for us. Here's another simulator for us. You'll watch 88 internally there, 88 flat step, really quick with his hands, violent, hard to block movement for offensive linemen in our league, especially if you got a better athlete in front of them right here. So again, this is stunt mode. So when we're in stunt mode, we're quick, we're looking to create a negative play and rally to the ball. It's a really good picture there. Got another simulated here for you, 95, who did a great job changing his body in the offseason, going from 330, 340 to 300 and was much quicker. So this is the exact drill you saw Coach Scott doing. Flat step, win that A. Good job getting vertical off of it, not getting washed. Just doesn't finish, and then we clean it up for him right there with stunt steps. All right, here's another great one right here. Here's the one a lot of people saw. 99's a tilt there on the center. Great quickness for him. Underneath, gets vertical penetration with it. Tackle for a loss, knockback. Doesn't hurt when you're 350 pounds, and you can still move quick like a cat right there. All right? All right, guys, we're ready to move on to our second part of the clinic. We want to create ways to rush the passer. So we've shown you all the ways we want to get negative yardage plays. Those are huge in games. Those are just as good as an offense getting explosive plays. So we want to create negative plays, but we also want to create ways to rush the passer. Why? RPOs have gone up. We've got a lot more passing. Teams want to be explosive. The way to be explosive is throw the ball vertical down the field. So if we want to create ways to rush the passer, we got to have natural games, line stunts, bird rabbit indicators is something we use here at University of Georgia. It's more fun for the players. It's more creative. I don't know one defensive lineman in the history of recruiting that doesn't want to get sacks, and they don't want to sit on a base mode and play blocks their career. They want to move. They want to stunt. They want to rush the passer. So you have to earn the right to rush the passer, and we want to create ways to put ownership on them so they can be quarterbacks on the field. So I'm going to start with the first one here. This is a split safety coverage for us. It's 2nd and 7. It's a run pass down. The offense can do either, but we have created ways over time to create rush. So you'll see Nolan Smith here, number 4, not in a 6 technique. A lot of our base teaching was you play a 6 technique anytime you're in a 4 down front. You got to do a good job making the tight end release outside. You stop, run first. That helps by being in a 6 technique. We've given our ends the ability to get wide, get in a 9 technique instead of a 6. We've also given our players, based on indicators, to bubble sides and things like that, the ability to run natural games. What is a natural game? Natural game is we're not telling the guy to penetrate the B gap and go inside. We're telling the guy that on pass, you can work to break the pocket. It's a really good picture here of 90, laid off the ball. I don't like his stance and getting off the ball, but he breaks the pocket. 95 knows that he's working a break game with him, and this was not a call game. This was a natural game that on pass, these guys got to work. 95 wraps, 90 gets washed a little far, but 95 now has created a rush on the quarterback, affected the quarterback, and got him throwing an incomplete pass. So we feel like 4 gets better pass rush this way. We feel like 90 and 95 get better pass rush this way, and we're constantly looking for a better way to rush the passer. Our sacks have gone up as a result of plays like this, getting more opportunities. Now, we're also going to say, how do we rush the passer better? Well, we're going to rush the passer better, but we're going to have line stunts. We're going to have games called. This is an obvious passing situation. So it's 3rd and 14. We want to be able to rush the passer as good as anybody in the country. It sells in recruiting. It sells in the NFL. We got to be able to rush the passer and not necessarily lead the country in sacks. We want to be high in sacks, but we want to disrupt the quarterback. So line stunts do that. Line stunts frustrate the offensive line. So you'll see here, really good job by 44. Elite quickness right here, stepping out. Here on our Ocho game, 33 doing a good job penetrating, coming up and under. Once 44 gets to the hip of the tackle, we feel like this guy's going to have a chance to win the rep. Really good job here at 33, going power to hands, converting his hands into the chest of the offensive lineman and walking him back. So a great picture of a good called game. This is a called game. This is not a natural. So a really good picture there of those guys doing that. and you want to be a good pass rushing team, you got to be able to do good stunts. And we work these really hard, different ways throughout the week. All right, now this is really tied together the entire defensive line game right here. We like this game in obvious passing situations. This is an obvious passing situation late in the Tennessee game. We're going to break the pocket a couple of different ways, make the offensive line pass off games, get natural penetration. So we're asking 95 to bull through the center before he goes around. 33 is a late break. 4 is breaking the pocket right now with 44 wrapping tight. And we always talk about how tight can you come. The better 44 comes off of 4, we've got less recovery time for the offensive line right here. So 44 comes tight off 4, leaves no what we call air in the cavity. That air that's in there right there, we want to take that air out and be a little bit tighter to push the pocket. But we end up getting a kind of a community sack here by 33, 44 helping out, finishing on the quarterback. But again, this is a way to rush the pass. How do I rush the passer better? Now, this last and third one within this section is birds, rabbits. We talk about it all the time. Offensive line coaches laugh about it. Offensive people laugh about it. They say, well, yeah, you're not right. Well, we kind of give our guys a batting average. And if you're going to be a bird, rabbit guy, point for us, you're trying to give the secondary an indicator of whether you think it's a run or pass. Okay, you're trying to give the linebackers an indicator of whether you think it's a run or pass. Okay, 2nd and 18, most people would argue, well, that's a pass down. Well, it may be, but we want to know that like you're thinking about it. My mode is changing. Am I in base mode, sit and strike? Am I in stunt mode? Am I changing gaps? Am I in jet mode? I'm going to get the quarterback. So I know if you're thinking about it and you're pointing to the sky, or you're pointing to the ground, and our guys do a good job too of mixing in dummy calls and changing it up. But this is a tremendous job here by 95, knowing what mode he's in and attacking and rushing the passer and getting a sack, being really aggressive. So how do I find more ways to rush the passer? I identify opportunities. This was a great opportunity based off of O-line stance, based off O-line demeanor, based off splits, based off formation, that we can crank up and go rush the passer. So if we can do this 10 plays better, this might equal 3 more sacks in a season, which is a big difference for us. All right. Next part we're going to move to is players over plays. So we've created negative plays. We're finding ways to rush the passer more aggressively. Now we want to talk players over plays. Remember, offenses have done an elite job of evolving. They know what most defenses do. So we've now gone to say, you know what? This game is not really about running the same play every year. It's about making sure what your guys do best, you're putting them in position to do. All right, so players over plays. Offenses do it, why not us? OCs make sure their playmakers get touches. We want to do the same on defense. And we're not talking about touches. We're talking about do what your team does best. Do what your strength is, okay? So here's the first thing that changed for us probably mostly this year. Our stars and corners, they're not proficient blitzers. All right, our inside linebackers really excelled at it. We had really good inside linebackers this year, 3 guys that will most likely get drafted, probably drafted high. So if that's what they do best, and maybe we don't do it as well outside, we blitzed our linebackers far more this year than we have in previous years. Okay, players over plays. So this slide was shown earlier, but I need you to really focus on what's circled here, okay? So you can see in 2019, we're 50-50 linebacker, DB, blitz. So that the DBs blitzed as much as the linebackers did on 1st and 2nd down. That was probably normal for us because we brought cats, we brought nickel stars, we brought safeties. And then 2020, all of a sudden it started to slide more. Linebackers a little more than DBs. And then 2021, it went off the map. Okay, why? A couple reasons. Players over plays. A lot of people like to say bring non-box count. So bring somebody other than the linebackers and the offense won't account for them. Well, offenses can account for everybody now. Quarterbacks have answers. So when you start bringing non-box count people, most quarterbacks have a relief. They've got an RPO, they've got a smoke, they've got a bubble, they've got something they can throw to take them out of a negative play of you bringing a DB or somebody. So we started saying, you know what? Let's bring the people who come best. Let's do it better than they do it. Let's see if it's a drop back pass and we're going to make somebody else block one of our backers. and those numbers went up. Now our backers were good at it, so this was about players over plays, higher percentage of linebackers. So you're going to see here, this is a corner pressure here with a trap, and this goes back to why we did what we did. Okay, our corner comes, and you can see on the screen here, the right corner, who's a really good player, comes. He's not a natural blitzer. He doesn't blitz for a living. He covers for a living. So he comes into blitz. He's unblocked. We called a great call here. He's unblocked. He should be blocked, but he doesn't get blocked here. He doesn't finish. He jumps. They get a completion. So when I see that, first thing I think about is, well, we got to find a way to do other things, because that's not the best thing he does. Now we can correct this, we can coach it, and we're still going to bring corners, but we're just not going to do it as much. Okay, here's another one. This is the semifinal game. Our stars, our blitzer here, coming off the edge. You can see him. This is America runs this. Everybody in America runs it. It's just field pop. It's nickel Sam coming, but he's not a great blitzer. So we've had kids before right here that could win on this tackle, could counter, get to the level of the quarterback, sit it down, but that's not what he does best. Okay, so now I want to jump to linebacker. All right, so now we've got a linebacker coming, and we feel like they do this a whole lot better. Pad levels down. They're trying to pass it off with a guard here. He gets through it, rips through it, gets a sack. All right, he's a finisher. He does this for a living. The coverage guys are covering, and the rushers are rushing. So we found this was a lot better, and you can see we started doing it a lot more. So here's a good picture here. We're stemming from 3 down to 4 down, and we're bringing internal pressure. We're getting one-on-one with a center who typically might be the worst protector on our backer, and now a back on our backer one-on-one. So ways to do this and create different coverages behind it are really, really good. It allows the guys that rush to rush, guys that cover to cover. It's a big part of what we do and how we want to do it. So our guys move more to that this year. I want to go to another one here. This is just, again, a simple, good old America's really fire zone, America man free. Got 2 guys coming that know how to rush. Kirby was a great rusher, got pad level down, beats the back, gets his hand on the ball. So again, we're bringing internal people, not people outside. All right, as we continue here on players over plays, on 3rd down, historically, past situation, 3rd down, wherever we find the breaking point in down and distance to feel like we're comfortable going into our dime rabbits package. But on 3rd down, we want to be a dime rabbits team. That was 6 DBs, our best rushers, our fastest guys, our create confusion for the quarterback situations. In 2021, we were a nickel rabbits team, 5 DBs. There's twofold on this. We wanted to keep our inside linebackers on the field as much as possible because, again, players over plays. It's easy to say I'm going to be cookie cutter and I'm only going to do this. We felt like we had 3 inside linebackers who are really good players. Okay, we also were deficient at DB. We have less DBs than we've ever had. So instead of putting a 6th DB on the field that's not as good as our 3rd inside linebacker, we wanted to play our best players. So to do that, we had to change a little bit. We had to adapt. We had to embrace it. And we wanted to do that. So don't do something just because that's what you've always done. You can see here, nickel rabbits for us last year, we played 158 snaps, dime rabbits 46 snaps. Now, philosophically, we'd like to play more dime rabbits, but if you don't have DBs that are as good as your linebackers, you got to find ways to play the best players. So we want to be able to go recruit and get enough defensive backs that we can match up and do that. This is a couple examples of that. Okay, so we have 3 inside linebackers on the field. This is the national championship game. We have 5 DBs on the field. That's nickel rabbits to us. So we had to find ways to be disruptive and have that package on the field. You can see here with Kirby being the penetrator. Kirby does a great job here getting under the back. He makes it really hard for the center to bring this back with Channing, who we think Channing is a great wrap blitzer. He's really fast, he's quick, he's strong, he gets his pads down on the route, and Kirby gets the back. The back almost makes a natural pick on the center here, and Channing gets pressure on the quarterback, which affects the quarterback just enough for the throw to come off and for Chris Smith to give him time to recover and make a play and man free behind it. So this is a great example when you look at it, and I'll try to pause it right there to show 7 inside backer, 41 inside backer, 17 inside backer that were really good football players, us trying to use their strengths. That was a big positive for us. They did a nice job there wrapping on it. Okay. Now to the 4th part. This is probably my favorite part because I think, and I've said it for a long time now, when you're green, you grow, and you're ripe, you rot. And if you just do the same drills over and over and over, I don't think you grow as a coach. I don't think your players enjoy it. I think as the game evolves, you're trying to find a better way to do it. I'm constantly looking at, it may not change the drill, but it may be more efficient. It may be different organized. It may be done at a different time in practice. But the drills we do must matter, okay? Are the drills we're doing and emphasizing showing up in games? We start every season with, don't take me through all the drills you do. Show me what drills you do that matter. Show me the drills that equate. Maybe they're safer when you do them in practice than what they are in a game. Because a lot of times in game there's 11 on 11 and it's violent. I want the practice version to be one-on-one with nobody around, no chance of an ankle, no chance of falling down, but have them compete, because it lessens the load. But we're always trying to find a way to do that. So we're looking to find a better drill or a better way. The drills we do matter. This is one of the first ones. So this is one of the first times we got here at University of Georgia. I can remember this. This is 2016. Coach Tucker had done this in the NFL. A lot of people do it. A lot of high schools do it. I've been in a lot of high school programs that use this pursuit. There's nothing wrong with pursuit. As a matter of fact, sometimes we just go back to it and show the tape, because it shows the effort of everybody turning and running. You are literally taught to turn, run, and show effort, and everybody's got to get all the way through the line. And we do it with each group. So this is kind of where it started for us, and it was graded, and we would watch it as a team to see the kind of effort, because nothing else matters if you don't have effort. Okay, now fast forward, and we wanted to do it a better way. So we met with different teams. We labeled this Utah Pursuit, got it from Utah, and these guys do a tremendous job turning and running the ball. How can we do it better? So we show this to the players on days we're going to do it. You can see at the bottom, it has the group. So it tells you the 4-down defensive alignment. We're in a 4-down front, doesn't matter if it's 3-down, but they see the depth chart of that 4-down, okay? And then as it goes down to the back end, you can see the positions that are filled, and we have players stationed all over the field. This is to simulate what we're seeing now in all of football, the spread game and where the ball's going. So I'm going to take you through this diagram and let you see. So there's offensive players out there. Now they're not in a different color, but you can see them stationed where those dots are. So they're not moving. Offensive players, you got a guy in the curl area, flat area, middle hook area. Got 4 defensive droppers. We're simulating a zone defense, which we play zone, and we think playing zone is important. So we're going to spot drop in this picture, get our feet set on the quarterback's depth. Quarterback drops deeper, I drop deeper. Quarterback's quick set, I'm quick set. And now we're ready to break on the ball. So now we're going to leverage the ball with 17. We want to encourage him to take a shot on the ball. We really don't want to get a tackle here, because we don't want to slow the ball carrier down. You can see the 4-down guys got to turn, cover down, give extreme effort. We got to fit with the other two, fit with the DBs to leverage it. Now I'd really like for the defensive back here to take a shot on ball. We want to punch the ball right here to get used to doing it with everybody covering down. And now for the semantics of the drill, the guy that just caught the ball, the offensive player there, 22, we're going to have somebody come from the sideline and fill his spot so that the quarterback the next play can throw it to any one of the locations. I've really liked this drill recently. It's been good for us. We can find a lot of great examples on tape. Ball's thrown in the flat. This is like a RPO bubble. Defensive line gets off. Got to turn, chase. We got to break on the ball. Got to leverage the ball. Leverage the ball inside out. Take a shot on the ball. Show everybody covering down. Like this drill, a lot more realistic in terms of what we see in a game. It fits more. So you can see here, D-line's at the second level. Throw, catch, turn, run, leverage the ball carrier. Really good effort right here by guys to cover down. Okay, and I think behind that, we now have a couple pictures to show you here. So good job, ball's thrown in the flat. It's a great job here rallying to it. You can see our corner split in the zone, cover 2 here, and now we want the D-line to get out of the stack, cover down. That's the exact same path they're doing on Utah Pursuit. Leverage it, take a shot and miss, take a shot. He's got freedom to miss there. Not a great job by Keely. He ends up missing the tackle. Boom, and then Lou cleans it up. So that's a good picture of our Utah Pursuit live in a game. I think we got another picture here. It's a good picture here. Quarterback throws it. You got safety coming out of the top. Star right there coming out of the top. Getting out of the stack, covering down. Really good job here by 41 coming to balance inside out, not letting the ball cross his face. So that Utah Pursuit's really been good for us. second level. This is a good picture here. I think earlier we showed 44 dropping. So if we're going to ask a guy to drop and do a simulated pressure, then we're going to put him in Utah pursuit, make him drop. So big 44 at 6'6", 280 pounds. Trevon has got to drop in practice so that he can open his hips and drop in a game. Really elite play here by this guy who's one of our best pass rushers, but he also has the ability to drop. All right, now I'm going to introduce you to our dog drill. Our dog drill is a screen drill we like to use. It's kind of evolved over time. We've taken it from teams we've kind of plagiarized, as we all do as defensive coaches, but it evolved and we've tried to make it better. So many teams are perimeter screens, get the ball out quick. If you're a pressure team, how do you beat pressure? You throw screens. So we tell our kids, we just named it dog drill so that our kids would understand. Some days we do Utah pursuit. Some days we do our mod bracket drill, which is coming up. But this is our dog drill, so I want to show and explain it to you. We've got 4 defensive linemen. We're in a 4 down. We're going to get off. We're going to turn and retrace our steps. We're going to drop very similar to Utah, and it looks very similar to Utah, but we've set it up to be a perimeter screen. So at the bottom, you will see the names of the first group up. You'll see the names of the second group up, names of the third groups up, and then we fill in the back with our skill players, our linebacker, combo and skill, and DBs, so we can get leverage. So it looks very similar to Utah pursuit, very similar setup. We don't have the offensive players at their areas where they would catch the ball in Utah pursuit, but you can see we have 2 bags on either side, and those are the pulling linemen or the receivers that are blocking. Behind the 2 bag holders, we have an offensive player. So you can simulate this as a slow screen where linemen are pulling, or you can simulate this as a perimeter screen where the ball's thrown. The most important thing is get off, cover down for defensive line, leverage the ball. We have a contained player. We like to call it force, not contain. And we also have a point player, person that's going to point the screen and make sure he 2-gaps the blocker so that the ball has to go either to the corner or the force player or back inside to the retrace players. What we don't want to do is run around the block. So we want to attack the blocker. So this is a drill that we use. You can see dog drill, ball thrown on the perimeter. Very important in teaching this drill and doing this drill properly is the bag carriers have got to have a separation the same distance you would have in a game. Okay, so you can see number 9 here's approaching the blocker. We want him to leverage the blocker and send the ball back in. He is the force player. Our safety here is the fill or point player, the alley player. So we don't like the bag to get away from the body of the bag holder, but it does here. So he's pointing it. Everybody else is covering down inside out, using leverage, and we'd like to see the 2 defenders that are playing block protection to get off the block and be able to finish. We don't want to create bad habits. You see it here on the other side. We're going to drop zone, identify screen, point the screen here with the linebacker, number 2, and outside in, contain the screen with the corner. We'd like to keep better leverage here, rip off, finish, and cover down to simulate our dog drill. Really good drill. Gets them moving early in practice. Got to be highly organized and got to be ready to go. This is a great picture of this drill. So we're in a 3-deep rotation here, 3-week. So we're rotated down. We have a contained force player in our safety, number 16. He ends up unblocked. We have a point player in our inside backer coming inside out. He does an elite job pointing this and a really, really good job here by the cover down inside out. And this is why 99 and 95 will play for a long time on Sundays because of the effort they give, but also the cover down here. So 41 recognizes the screen. He knows right now, I cannot run around this blocker. I've got to address the blocker and send it out to the contained player, which he should have a blocker on him as well. And we want to leverage the ball back to the inside out pursuit. You can't stop the screen without the inside out pursuit. And this is 99 coming to get you live in your living room there. 99's coming to get you and chase you down. It looks like Pac-Man going to eat somebody right there. Good. Get excited about that. It's a big play for us. So now we're going to get another picture here where we have a point player outside. We got a contained player outside, force player, and now we've got a point player who does a really good job on the blocker of making the runner go east and west, not north and south. So you can see here, I think that's Kirby there on the point. He does a great job with the blocker, and then the cover down coming inside out. You see Jalen Carter take a violent swat at the ball here, trying to create turnovers. That's big for us. We're going to reward that, talk about that, show that in meetings. That's big for us to get turnovers. So that's our dog drill. Now I'd like to move to our next one of my favorites, one that we kind of created here. It morphed, and I kept seeing it happen, and I wanted it to happen more often. So we talked about bubble drill, and it kind of being the millennial Oklahoma. I talked about that probably 10, 15 years ago. Now I look at mod bracket drill as a quickened, shortened version of this. And we show our players each week where this happened in a game. Because again, the point of this is the drills we do must matter. So 1 time or 2 times a week in a game week. Now in the off season we do it a lot, but in the actual season, week-long game weeks, we take this and we say, you know what? Let's do this 2 days this week. Let's do this 1 day this week. Whatever day we're going to be physical. So the organization for us, our kids see it in a meeting. They know where they are. They see the ball carriers. They see the blockers. They're in a line. They can rotate lines. We change it. But we want to be organized at practice. I don't want a guy going, where am I at? What line am I in? So we show them the diagram. This is to show you guys 7 yards apart. You can do it one side. You don't have enough players. It probably would be more effective if it was done from a hash. But we do it from the middle of the field, so I get 2 sides going at once. And we get a lot of reps on this. So you can see the ball in the middle here. We're just giving a nice short throw, gets the quarterbacks warmed up. It's not about the throw, it's about getting confidence, but it's about the block protection. So you can see inside out, we're playing a form of quarters. We've got an inside apex defender on a receiver or a tight end who blocks. And then we've got a secondary defender coming out of the top. It could be a corner or safety. We even put our linebackers back there. This is a good special teams play. This is a good offensive play. We want to gain the strip here and get a ball strip on the ball carrier and get a good thud here and work to get off a block. So we're inside out leverage, we're filling, and most people would say, well, that guy's going to get cracked. Well, if he gets cracked, then we're going to gain another guy. So we're just trying to simulate gain speed. So here we are in a game. This is a good picture of the corner coming off of a crack replace. Safety's coming down, receiver goes and blocks him. The corner's got to go crack replace, and we get the picture we want to get out there on the outside. Here's another one where we're going to get safety field coming outside in. Apex star player getting blocked. Would like to see the star do a better job with hat and hands. I don't believe in giving your shoulder up here and just sacrificing yourself. We want to push that guy, be really thick on the block, and make it harder for the receiver to restrict space. Good job there with the thud, trying to get it started there before practice. So we'll get probably 3 to 4 minutes of this drill. A lot of times I think this drill is more important than anything else you do. You can't do enough of this with it. So here you're going to see our star go inside leverage. He gets blocked. This kid has done this drill, Chris Smith, for 4 to 5 years. He sees 2, go block. He comes off. You can see how tight he comes. It's also an elite play by 99, so I want you to see that as well. But the zero nose is tracking this thing inside out. But we've got 36 who maintains inside leverage. We don't want him to cross the blocker until the ball crosses. So I'm inside out. Worst thing can happen is him cross over and we got 2 in the same gap. 29 is trusting 36. 29 wants to strike a match right off 36 hip and be right there ready to make the tackle along with big 99 coming through there. So now we're going to change the leverage up. We're going to play outside leverage and we're going to fill. So this would be like a quarter support, what we call bracket. So we showed mod before, it's inside leverage by the nickel. Now outside leverage by the nickel, and we're going to fill with the safety. It's a good toughness drill, good open field tackle drill, good ball security drill for the offense, good drill for the receivers to block. It's also safer. So I'm all about safety. I want to be able to not have 11 on 11 drills. You don't see a pile up in these. You don't see a 10-car pile up. You don't have defensive linemen coming inside out. So we want to make it harder than it is in the game. In the game, there's a defensive lineman coming in and out, inside out, so 16's got help. It'll never be harder than it is here. So it's a good picture here, outside leverage, star here, take it on the tight end, get off the block, fill it inside out. Things that happen in the game. Are you doing things that happen in the game? All right, the drills we do matter. Don't be scared to improve the drills that come up. All right, so I want to show you a great example of that. We had done mod bracket drill probably for 2 years the way I just showed it. I began to get frustrated because I felt like we weren't getting off blocks on the perimeter. Our receivers weren't, maybe stop blocking enough down the field. So we added a third element because we were getting reached at corner. We weren't fitting things. Mod bracket was really an internal fit drill. It was nickel star, it was linebacker, it was safety. So we decided to incorporate a third piece to this. All right, so this is actually the SEC championship game. You can see we were not doing it at this point. Our outside defender, our secondary contain player, our corner, who's right here got the deep third, he loses his leverage. He gets punched in the mouth, loses his leverage here, and the ball gets outside of him, and we give up a big explosive play. So this is a form of mod bracket because there's 31 playing it. And then here comes 11, doesn't do a good job keeping contained, doesn't play it well, okay? So we came up and said, we're going to add a third dimension to this. This is mod bracket drill with another layer. So as you see it here, we've got the receiver actually across the line of scrimmage. I'm not trying to create a major contact here. What we told the DB, he's got to take at least 4 to 5 yards. I don't like the corner here. He's got to go further back because he's got to honor crack and go. He's got to honor deep 1/3. He's got to honor his drill. But this is a fit drill. So he's going to fit on the receiver. The receiver's going to get a stalk. We're going to add the element of a pin block, and then we've got one unblocked player there for the back. So it's a 3-pronged drill that we like to get good habits, finish with leverage, snatch off the block, and I don't like the way he finishes here with the ball allowing to go inside out. So now you're going to get the same deal here. Corner, outside contain, fill player, and there's our three-pronged drill right there. That's what we're looking for. 16's coming inside out to fill it to make the play. So we changed what we did. This is actually video from, I believe this is the semifinal game. So we're down in Miami, and we've added this drill to make sure the corner gets depth. He honors the receiver, plays his stalk drill, gets off the block, snatches off here, gets off the block. Safety's coming to fill. So we have a second layer, a protective layer behind primary force. So there's primary force, secondary force. There's primary force, and the secondary force is coming to fill it. And we started adding this. Corners didn't love it, receivers didn't love it, but you know what? I love winning. So it's what you got to have to get it right here. This is a good picture right here of it. Corner outside, goes primary. Get a good job here of 47 filling the alley. So we've got 2 guys attacking blocks, pressing blocks, so that we can make the tackle here in the red area for us. Big drill for us. Got another picture here. Got leverage outside, got a post player. He's forcing the issue. And now we've got a buzz player coming inside out. It's the alley point player to fill it. That's our drill. We also have the stalk outside where we want to attack the blocker and be 2/3 outside on that blocker. Okay. Got another one here for you. Throw the smoke screen outside. Number 5 now has got a second contain. Got a contain player, second contain player, and a fill alley player here. It happens more in football now than it ever has before. So many examples of it. What drills are you doing that matter most for us? Now I'm gonna go to my 4th drill here off of what drills we do that matter, rodeo drill. For us, we're playing more and more athletic quarterbacks. We probably had 5 guys this year that I would say are dual threat guys that we're having to play against, and these guys are super athletic. So you can't simulate enough having a really good athlete on a guy that might beat his block and have to finish. So we're simulating this drill, we call it rodeo drill, and it's really backyard, tag, pull the flag, got to finish on the quarterback here. So many of our defensive linemen don't know how to do that. So you can see here, I've won out of my stance, I'm unblocked, I'm free, or I beat my rusher, I've got to finish on a better athlete. So the defensive linemen don't get to go very many times against a better athlete. So we put them in a confined space inside a box, and then we try to get them to work on finishing on the quarterback, go to the upfield shoulder. Really like this drill more on days that we're not in pads, or we might be in spiders where it's less contact, but we want them to finish, attack the ball, and attack on the quarterback. Attack on the quarterback with the ball security here. So this is a really good picture here. How long will you chase? You can see 33 here, chasing the quarterback. This is a good scrambling guy. Got to have the rodeo, got to be able to finish on the quarterback. More and more quarterbacks can extend plays. We got to be able to finish on them when they do that. So that's us punching, ripping at the ball, every opportunity we get. Watch 7 here. Comes through, he's unblocked. Now, this is where you get in trouble. Can he finish on the quarterback? Can he finish on the quarterback? Can he get to the quarterback? He ends up missing here, gets him down late with the help of Trevon. So we like to call this rodeo drill. And we get a lot of reps on this, especially weeks we're playing quarterbacks of this caliber. This is a great play here by 41. We're flush gaming this, wanting to get Bryce out of the pocket. 41's waiting to go get him. He goes inside out, ready to break down. Again, simple drill, but do drills that matter, right? Do drills that matter. This is another one we love. Running back linebackers one-on-ones and turnover circuit. For us, it's big, it's safe. Okay, because one of the biggest ways to lose people is put offensive line and linebackers or running backs together and pass rush and make them protect. So this is running back, linebacker, pass rush. We have a no bull rule here. We don't want them to bull during this period. We want them to work a move, because if we're going to blitz our linebackers more, what do we need to do? We need to practice it. Backs have to pick up linebackers. So we want them to work this drill, compete in this, work a move, work leverage. The backs know there's no bull in this, but we're going to get one-on-one with our linebacker on a back. You can see here the tight end goes to pick up Kirby. He does a great job beating the tight end, and then he runs through the back, and then he gets a sack. A really great effort by him, but it's something that he's done in practice over and over again. He's trained to do. So he gives him Bob Swat, boom, converts to hands, gets off, and gets a sack. Again, same deal here. We get great get off. We shrink the area some days, meaning we're not looking for heavy contact. We're looking for strike, hand placement, effort, fight, finish, not the collision, okay? So we're trying to get these guys to pass pro, protect, fight with their hands, and be able to beat a back in one-on-one pass pro. You can see here, this is our young kid here, I think, coming off the edge. Pop, doing a good job. He goes power here, he bulls the guy, gets to the upfield shoulder of the quarterback and gets a sack. Really nice rush, okay? Another drill we do that I like, that I think incorporates a lot of what people are doing. Most of offenses now are free release. They're 5 out, they're empty, they're spread. So what are you doing to simulate that? We call this drill Memphis drill because Coach Lanning had done it at Memphis, but it's something that really helped us. So we can do 2 things at once if we want. We can do the pass pro on this side, and on the other side, we've got a one-on-one rep going on of a tight end on a safety or a tight end on a backer. If we want to slow it down some days, less reps, we do 1 at a time. But you can see here, Kenny getting in protection against a really good blitzer to Kobe, one-on-one, safe. Don't have a lot of bodies flying around. It's one-on-one, compete, pass pro. A lot of people do it, but we wanted to add the dimension that they could also run routes. So we want to run routes while we're doing this. You can see here, we got a lot of 5 out when we get the back on the backer, one-on-one with the ability to make a play there and work coverage in that as well. All right, we go outside and cover one-on-one. Teams getting empty. We ask our linebackers to go cover. If they're going to have to do it in a game, I want them to work on it in practice. This is something that our guys, most linebackers, are not comfortable at. So you got to be willing to do things they don't normally do to practice it. And James was really elite at running routes, playing coverage. We want to put our guys in a position to play coverage and work that. So it's really big to get those things done. This is our offense using Cook. So Cook's flexed out. We've all seen this play. He does a great job on the double move. He's done that before in practice. He's worked it in practice. He's one-on-one with a backer. It's a great matchup for us. He's using his skill set. And here's another one. Cook goes out. We've all seen it. Does a great job double moving. But it's not the first time he's done it. He's done that in drill work in the spring. He's done that throughout the season. And this is the other element of this. This is the part that I really like. So in between reps, on the one side where the back and the backer are going, we're going to get a pass rush with a tight end having to protect on a really good rusher. Like, it'll never get harder than this for our tight ends. Our tight ends have no help here. They're in a one-on-one pass rush. The defender knows it's a pass. So in this picture, he does a great job fighting, trying to protect in one-on-one pass rush. Quarterback working the pocket there. And then you go back to the game and say, okay, why does it matter? Where does the drill matter? All right, we've got Fitz here working a one-on-one on 25. He's got to block for a long time, one-on-one pass pro, so that we can work our receiver on the open post on the max blitz, and he wins inside. So again, this play is not possible if Fitz can't hold up in a one-on-one block to give Stetson time to throw it, and he's worked that in our drill tape. So you can do that, and then we mix him one-on-one for those guys to get coverage. So, you know, the outside backers and the safeties, they want to rush and blitz, but the tight ends want to go run routes. So we want to get good at both. So we let those guys work both there during this period and simulate that. That's one of our more competitive periods. So with that, I'm going to stop. I appreciate you guys' interest in this. I hope this helps. I'm a big believer in giving back and trying to show the things that we do that we have evolved to, because as offenses evolve, defenses have to adapt. And it's very important that you understand the points that we're trying to get across now in defense is give negative plays, find ways to rush the passer, find ways to do drills better than they do drills. And always remember the most important thing is the players. So it's all about how you use your players and their skill set. Thank you guys. I appreciate you tuning into this, and go Dogs.